We're frozen, which is exactly what I thought might happen with the camera. Woo! All right, hang on. Getting in there. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Okay. Hello! Here we are. Coming at you hot with special edition of Cosmos with Cosmos today, Tipsy Stars.
You told me us not to speak.
I told you. Oh, you may speak now.
Yes, I'm so excited.
So, in this show, we are going to give a planetarium show. It's
This is gonna be weird.
It's gonna be real weird. Yeah, it's gonna be
It's gonna be really weird. But that's what we're all about here at Cosmos, is being weird.
Being weird, yeah. So normally, of course, if you go to a planetarium show, if you've been to a planetarium show, you go into a dark theater-esque room. And there is a dome ceiling above you. Or maybe it's not even a room. Maybe it's like an inflatable dome that you've been into, a portable planetarium, which can be equally fun and exciting. Of course, we're live streaming this via the internet, so we don't have a dome that we can put everybody in. So essentially, it's going to be a flat screen planetarium show.
Yeah, and it all worked earlier.
Yes, it has been working, minus the issues with the camera that wants to just like deactivate and show us frozen for some reason, which we'll have to deal with again when we switch over to the Hangover and whatnot. But we'll, whatever. You guys get us. You bear with us here.
Sorry. Ursa Major us with us here.
Yeah. You can Ursa Major with us. Yeah, I don't know. Are you guys excited?
I'm always excited. I'm like a puppy dog. Always.
You excited?
I'm nervous.
I'm nervous too. We're all really nervous.
I'm a little more. I'm going to be a little rusty, but I'm a little more. I'm nervous in that. I really hope the shit works.
Yeah,
I know.
I don't think I prepared enough to be nervous.
Wow, that would make me even more nervous.
Yeah,
a little bit. But I know you two can just carry me.
That's true. Apparently we're sounding a little bit quiet, so I need to boost the mic up. Maybe I'll just raise it up closer to us, and then we'll just project our voices into the room. Does that sound better?
Into the planetarium.
The virtual planetarium, yeah. You know what? Actually, okay, bear with me because I had to do some finagling with the microphone to get it to work, and it could just be that the mic volume is kind of low. So let's it's only at 91. Well, that's still close enough. So let's just we'll raise the microphone
I think we're
volume.
Going to be carrying. All of us are going to be carrying each other.
Yeah.
I can't carry you, but I can help carry the show for you. We haven't started yet.
We haven't started yet. It's not okay. So
I was looking for my drink.
For the main part of the show, I actually did not include any drink flashies. I figure for the planetarium show, we would kind of put the drink rules aside and save those for the Hangover. But everyone's more than happy to drink whenever they want to drink.
You know that when we get back into a dome, when we get a little portable dome and we go go cruising around Maui, giving planetarium shows, we're gonna be at a school somewhere and we're gonna hit a button that we think is gonna bring us all back, and it's just because they drink.
Everyone got the juice boxes.
Strobe light of drinking. But it looks like Katie has some wine and cranberry juice ready to go, like together or separately. Like you're just gonna chase that wine with some cranberry juice. And Jack made a peanut butter hazelnut and chocolate shake.
Because it's warm.
You have to use a mix of peanut butter and hazelnut to emulsify it nicely.
I'm sure warm that day was like 55 degrees.
Probably.
Yeah, right. It's what is it outside today? I don't know. It's decent.
It's nice. It's really nice. Actually.
It's 42 temperature units.
All right. By the way, this episode specifically of Tipsy Stars, because it's not really going to translate to an audio-only format. This will be the main show. However, we do have an episode of High in the Sky that will be up on the podcast platforms Saturday. So there's an audio-only version that will be available.
That none of you actually heard live, so this will be a whole new show.
Yeah, so it'll be a lot of the same shit.
And,
but
you know, it was really weird doing that without anybody.
It was. It's like a throwback.
Yeah, it was weird doing it not live, and we were just talking to ourselves, which is what we're doing anyway, but not. So
well, we have chat. We're chatting with Jack at 73 in Omaha right now.
Yeah, and apparently mixing cranberry juice with white wine works.
Yeah, so
okay.
You know, we're talking to Jack. We're talking to Katie. That's all we're talking to right now. But we're talking. There's 5 of us are chatting.
Hey,
it's fine. It's fine. Speaking of drinks, it is Cosmos of Cosmos, and we're getting tipsy with some stars today. So I am drinking a Hazy Stars. And my Hazy Stars, also known as a Paloma, which is basically orange soaked tequila. Orange, well, because it's tequila that is marinated that is soaked in.
All right, so there's
tequila. I don't know.
There's tequila, and we put orange slices in it, and that's been cooking for a bit.
Been cooking for a bit.
Yeah, it's been sitting for a bit.
The tequila's getting marinated with the oranges, and the oranges are getting marinated with the tequila.
Yeah, they're just when you take a bite out of those the orange slice.
Oh, yeah, you get
Oh man.
And then you got some grapefruit juice, and a little dash of Sprite and some sugar.
Yeah, and lime juice.
And lime juice. So there we go. Some Hazy Stars coming at you. Mike, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a Look to the Stars Moscow Mule.
Very nice.
So I'm drinking.
Oh, that's nice. What's in it? For the people who don't know what's in a Moscow Mule, because you can make it various ways.
You can, and this is made various ways. I mean, it's ginger beer. What else did I put in here? Ginger beer,
and
vodka.
The mule.
The mule.
Yeah, the mule.
Yeah.
Mule's in here. So, and it's a mule from Moscow.
You had to emulsify that ass.
Well done. Ginger beer, vodka, and in this particular case, cranberry cherry.
Ooh.
Most excellent.
Brandon?
Well, thank you, Liz. I have a drink called the Alamogast. Which is a cool name.
That's a good name.
I don't think we're going to talk about that in the show, but...
Why not?
The Alamogast.
It's fine.
It's just an old-fashioned, is all it is.
I like it. Just like the Alamogast.
Yeah, it's an old-fashioned.
Yeah.
Look at that. Hey, I meant to do that.
That.
Totally meant to do that.
See?
So what's in an old-fashioned?
Oh,
yeah.
Bourbons. Is it an orange slice in this one? No.
Cherry.
Cherry. Do we spurt orange to it? Spurts?
No, but I could do that. Well,
the oranges are soaked with tequila,
bitters.
so.
Okay, I didn't make this drink, so I'm not sure what variety we have
bourbon,
here.
Orange bitters, cherry, and instead of simple syrup, we use cherry juice.
Cherry juice.
I like how consistently, we never know usually what we're drinking, and we have to rely on you to tell us because you make it all.
Yeah. Well, I have vodka and cranberry because I was busy, and this is what I have now, which is actually my backup drink.
That's the backup drink. Which might be a little strong. I don't know. We'll see. You'll have to let us know.
Well, you'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out. Oh, Mom's here. Hi, Pod Mom.
Hi, Pod Mom.
She made it. Okay, well, are we,
I don't know how we're doing this, so let's just do it.
We're gonna go to the stars,
So I tell you
essentially.
So I'll walk outside together.
Yeah, so
there we go.
Everybody
put
come
on your
outside with us.
imagination caps.
Close your eyes and picture the night sky. And pretend you're facing... No, I'm just kidding.
But don't
we
close
got
your eyes.
We got some shit. So
we have technology.
We have technology. We're going to take it away from us here. And we are going to hope that essentially everything works.
Now I want to point out, Liz is in Planetarium mode when she starts whipping out the essentially.
Oh, is that my go-to word?
We all have our go-to words.
There we go.
There. Oh, okay, go.
So essentially, we're going to go to the evening sky here in Ogden, Utah, minus all the light pollution. And what time are we looking at after sunset?
This is 2 hours after sunset.
Ooh.
2 hours after sunset. Of course, the sun sets in the west, which is
Where we're
the
facing.
direction that we are currently facing now. But we are going to go ahead and face to the north. So hold on to your butts. We're spinning around.
Ooh, good thing we didn't have drinks, and that's not dizzy.
Good thing it's not in an actual dome.
Good thing it's not at that Star Wars game.
Star Squadrons, yeah. So we have our Wasatch Mountains there on the horizon.
Yeah.
But those are a little bit in the way, so we want to get rid of our horizon, which normally you can't do in the real sky.
Well, you can. You just need a lot of
I know it
dwarves.
stays on, but we're just going to kind of raise our view up a tad.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought we were going to demolish the mountains.
Yes, well, I mean, they're already doing that with all the mining that's going on here, but
and you're like, oh, we're gonna get rid of those. I'm like, fuck, I should have put that button in there. God damn it.
No. So we're going to face north. Now, the majority of the constellations that we see in the evening are seasonal. We can only see them at night at certain times of the year. But facing north in the northern hemisphere, there are constellations that you can see throughout the year at night, and I'm going to talk about a couple of those. However, there's something else in the north that is very useful to us in the northern hemisphere. Any guesses to what that could be?
The anti-South Star.
The anti-South Star.
The anti-South Star.
We call it the Yankee Star.
The Yankee Star. Of course, talking about our North Star.
Oh, north, yeah, that makes sense.
It guides our way. If you're ever lost in the middle of nowhere, if you're in the northern hemisphere,
It'll be cloudy for me.
It'll be
fine.
cloudy.
Yeah. If you can find the North Star, then you know which way north is, and you can use some deductive reasoning to find out where the other directions are.
And it's honestly been helpful knowing. Okay, there's that star I'm looking for. Okay, now we know what direction I'm facing.
Yeah. Once I learned how to find the North Star, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is a very handy navigational tool.
Let's show them where it is.
Okay, I'm getting there. Don't rush me along. This is my section of the show.
Very long.
Yeah, of course. We run all of our planetarium shows long, and we don't have a show after this, so we could just go all day if we want to.
Last show of the day. Oh boy.
All right, now to find the North Star, it's very easy, but you gotta know a certain thing to look for, because the North Star itself, a lot of people think the North Star, also known as Polaris, that's its official name. A lot of people think that it should be very bright, that it's like maybe the brightest star in the nighttime sky, but it's not.
Gasp.
It only ranks around like 49th in brightness.
49th brightest star.
So it's not like it's gonna really like stand out and you're gonna be like, oh, of course, that's the North Star. You need a little help. And that help comes in the form of a very popular shape of stars, grouping of stars that is bright, that does stand out in our nighttime skies.
Is it Orion?
And that is the Big Dipper.
Big Dipper!
The Big Dipper,
That's
yeah.
not what you've called it in the past.
No, I have on accident one time I accidentally called it the Big Dicker.
In a show.
In a show with children present.
Laughs were had.
And there were some chuckles, and I just continued on as if I did not say anything, although
so
I was dying.
Where's the
inside.
Big Dicker at?
So essentially, everybody, look, I'm using my words. I'm getting to it. Okay, so the Big Dipper, it's very familiar shape, right? It looks like something that dips into something, right? You have like a handle, and then you have this bowl of an object. And so it's very bright in the sky, and it traces out this shape right here.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah.
Now, of course, if you're looking at the real stars in the real sky, it's not going to draw pictures for you. You do need to use your imagination a little bit.
And you're not going to get those little ends. and E's and W's.
No, you're not gonna. No, the sky isn't just gonna
yeah.
tell you which direction that you're facing. So we have our Big Dipper. We have the 3 stars in the handle and the 4 stars in the bowl. Now, in order to use the Big Dipper to find the North Star, you're gonna want to look at the 2 stars on the edge of the bowl that is opposite the handle side. You got it? Everybody with me?
That's why I love laser pointers.
I know. It's really difficult not to have
You can use the mouse.
a laser pointer. No, the mouse won't be visible in how it's set up. So these 2 stars on the edge of the bowl, they're known as Doobie and Merak.
Merak.
All right, so these are these are the 2 stars that you want to look for. And essentially, what you're going to do with these stars is you're going to start with Merak, and you're going to draw a line to Doobie, and then you're going to keep following that line, a little doobie-doobie-doo, out to, bam.
Yay.
Polaris,
We made it.
the North Star. So it's really as simple as that to find the North Star. Bada bing.
Bada doobie doobie
Bada
doo.
doobie
Bada
doobie
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 doobie doo. So we have our North Star, which again can help you find your way if you're ever lost in the evening. But the North Star is a part of its own grouping of shapes, something that is not as bright as the Big Dipper, but very similar, and that would be
The bigger dipper?
the Little Dipper.
Little Dipper, hey!
The North Star is the last star in the handle of the Little Dipper.
The Big Dipper is pouring into the Little Dipper.
Yeah, it does look like that.
Yeah, and the reason why it rains so much in the spring is because it overflows the Little Dipper and falls onto us.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, it's science.
Science, folks. Now, the Big and Little Dippers, these are not official constellations.
Oh.
Yeah, these are actually called asterisms. They are basically unofficial constellations. They're essentially shapes that we kind of make up that belong to official constellations.
Didn't we make up the shapes of the official constellations too?
Oh, we did, but not. But these are a little bit more modern, so to speak, what we recognize as the Big and Little Dippers. The official constellations that we recognize, at least the majority of them in the Northern Hemisphere, come from the ancient Greeks.
Yeah, but every society, every culture had their own constellations. But the official constellations are the Greeks, and everybody else, whether it's Chinese, Maori, Native American, or what have you, Druid, those are asterisms.
Yeah. And those Greek constellations were really confirmed in just culture in general, thanks to Ptolemy with the Alamogast, who wrote down the first 48 constellations.
Oh, there you go. And a lot of our official star maps actually comes from a dude named Hellanicus, who essentially took those works and then applied them to the modern day sky. Because during, I don't remember what time, it was during the Renaissance, and there was this whole big revival of Greek culture and art. Like Greek became like
Is that why it's called the Renaissance?
Greek became like the cool thing, and so they're like, oh, let's take the Greek shit and put it up there. And so we've basically stuck with that to this day.
Hipsters. You know it was cool 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, they're like the OG hipsters during the Renaissance. So our Big and Little Dippers, they're not the official constellations, they're asterisms, and there are more stars involved in the official constellations. And we know the Big and Little Dippers as the Big and Little Bears. And this is what they look like.
The Little Dipper didn't change.
The Little Dipper didn't change, exactly. That is essentially what the little bear looks like. Exactly like that. Looks like bear. Are we seeing bears?
I see bears.
You see bears?
I see bears.
Stop bears.
Yeah, I see William Perry, whatever his name. He was a defensive end for the Bears.
I don't know, man. Sports ball. Okay, so you got to use a lot of imagination with these constellations, and so the bears look.
There we go.
Like this.
There's some bears.
We got a big bear.
Squirrels.
And we got a little bit.
Yeah,
They're squirrels.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Something's different.
Something's wrong. Something's a little wrong with these bears. Any guesses as to what's weird with these bears?
I don't know.
Their ears.
Their ears.
I think it's the ears.
It's the
Gotta
ears.
be the ears.
Yeah, it's totally ears.
It's the ears.
Honestly, the face of the little dipper there, the little bear, that is not the face of a bear.
Yeah, and the big bear, the way he is right now, his head looks like a bat.
It does kind of look like a bat. Yeah, you're
bit.
right.
However,
I would say the most glaring biological atrocity with these images is actually, has anybody seen a bear with a long tail?
I have now.
In the planetarium, I have.
So, these bears have long tails. They're not supposed to have long tails. The tails being the handles of their respective dippers. And, of course...
That's not the dickers.
Anyway, I was gonna, but then I was like, no. All right. Of course, with most of our constellations, there are stories that we get from the Greeks that explains, how the constellations got into the sky, essentially. And so the story with the bears goes, in a nutshell, I'm going to nutshell it for you. The big bear once was a beautiful woman named Callisto. Callisto, Zeus, king of the gods, was into her. And he had an affair with Callisto. Now Zeus had an affair with, every mortal woman.
Anything that walked
really,
or swam.
Yeah,
flew.
Zeus just gets around a lot.
Did it have a pulse?
And he's married, of course, to Hera, queen of the gods. Hera knows this, what Zeus doesn't like it. She finds out about his affair with Callisto. And so in order to protect Callisto from Hera, Zeus turns Callisto into a bear.
Oh, my.
Wonderful for Callisto, right? That's great. So he turns her into a bear, and she's upset. She's not happy, and she's just now has to live her life in the forest. Well, it's not like Callisto was just this single woman by herself. She had a son, a grown son named Arcus. And Arcus, he's this young man. He's a hunter. He's out in the woods one day, and he sees a bear running at him. Now, from the bear's perspective, that's actually Callisto, his mom.
Oh boy!
And she's like, "Oh my gosh, my son! Of course, he will instinctively know that it's me. He'll recognize me, and we can be together again."
How does that sound in bear?
That
sounds terrifying.
That's how it sounds.
Oh, you blew it out.
Blew it out. Cover your ears, everyone. So Arcus doesn't see his mom. He doesn't instinctually know this bear rushing him is his mother, and he's out there to hunt, so he draws his bow and arrow to protect himself. He's like, all right, I gotta kill a bear now to save myself. Well, Zeus is watching this whole thing, and he's like, he doesn't want to see Callisto killed because, like all his conquests, he cares for her, apparently. And so what he does is he turns Arcus into a little bear. Her cub. So now Callisto can have her cub, her son, with her.
But they're bears.
They're bears.
They're bears. Yeah, they're bears. However, Hera is still a threat. So Zeus decides, you know what, in order to protect both of them and keep them together forever, I'm going to put them up into the stars. So what he does is he grabs Callisto and Arcus by their short, stubby, fluffy bear tails. He swings them around with all his godly might, stretching their tails out, and throws them up into the stars. And so now today, we have the big and little bears with their long-ass, weird, wrong tails forever chasing after each other in the northern sky.
They're beaver bears.
The beaver bears of the north.
Oh,
yeah.
Delightful.
Isn't that fun?
That's a love story.
It's a love story. Exactly.
Like Deadpool.
Exactly like Deadpool. So again, the big and little bears, you can find them at night all year long. They just circle the pole star, the North Star, Polaris. They're circumpolar constellations in this sense when you're in the northern hemisphere. And the higher in essentially the North Star's altitude in the sky is always equal to your latitude on Earth. As far as high up it is. So if you're in the North Pole, it's going to be directly above you, and then all of the Northern Hemisphere constellations will be circumpolar.
Nice.
Neither rising nor setting.
Exactly. Now, of course, the Big and Little Bear is not the only circumpolar constellation up there. We got another circumpolar constellation up there.
Just one?
And, well, there's more, but there's going to be one that you're going to talk about, which is Draco the Dragon.
Draco?
Yeah.
Well, go back to the first page, first of all.
You want to go here?
Yeah, I do.
This one? All right.
This feels right.
Here you go. All right. We'll toss it over to Brandon so he can give us a little talk about Draco.
Well, thank you, Liz.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, so I'm not going to try to point out where you can find Draco in the sky because it's difficult without like a laser pointer. So instead, here is Draco. It's kind of like swarming around the two bears.
Oh, that looks like what is Draco supposed to be?
That's supposed to be
A kite?
a kite. Yeah, a kite with a big long tail to it. Again, lots of tails in the sky.
Lots of tails.
But of course, it's supposed to be Draco the Dragon. There we go.
Hey.
A bearded dragon.
A bearded dragon.
Or,
coiled up, nice and neat like.
A rat with a snake body?
Yeah, a rat like
that.
like Splinter with the snake body.
Yeah, Splinter.
That's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
But Draco has, of course, they're gonna look at me when they say this. One of my favorite stories of the night sky.
Oh, I've been waiting for this.
Oh yes.
Yeah, good
So
story.
once again, as listed in a nutshell. Draco was this dragon living once upon a time in this land with a kindly young prince in the kingdom.
Oh.
And this young prince was beloved by everyone. But one day, this young prince grew gravely ill and he was about to die.
Oh no.
And so Draco heard of this, and he came to the rescue from his cave and took out his heart and divided it in two, his big, strong dragon heart, and gave the prince half of his heart so he may live on.
Wait a minute.
Nice.
Yes, wait a minute.
Does
And
Draco
so-
have an accent?
It's kind of a Scottish accent. It's kind of weird. So Draco went back to his cave to live his life, and the prince grew up to become, of course, a great king. But he did not become a great king. He became cruel and unruly, indeed.
No.
He was about to commit a great atrocity. And so when Draco heard of this potential calamity befalling the land, he took a dagger and stabbed his own heart, killing him and the young prince. Or
Heart.
the king at this point.
Heart entanglement.
Yes, heart entanglement. This was the hearts of a dragon.
Starring
Some may call this dragon heart.
starring Sean Connery
And
Dennis
this deed
Quaid.
was deemed so worthy by the other old dragons that they lifted Draco into the sky to become the constellation Draco the Dragon.
Ah, thank you. What MGM Studios, Miramax.
Yeah, so that's
which
one of my
one?
favorite movies called Dragonheart, starring Sean Connery and Dennis Quaid. Go check it out. There's a sequel, I heard.
So this is of course a fan favorite of the Greeks, right? That's exactly how they
Point
depicted
to point.
Draco.
Which honestly, that should have been the story because that's a solid story.
It is a solid story. It's pretty good.
But he's actually up in the sky because Hercules defeated him in one of his tasks.
Yes,
That's
yes,
really
that's
the
what,
story.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And that's not as fun as telling the prince
No,
story.
Hercules had to fight him.
No, I'd much rather hear the Dragonheart story.
I like the Dragonheart
Yeah,
story.
me too.
Exactly.
There's another circumpolar constellation I want to point out. This one has a very unique name. However, let's look at it first.
Oh,
Now,
that's
To me,
a thing.
it's a thing. Now, to me, it looks like John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever.
There you go. Okay.
Put a
Well,
little
a headless
head.
one.
It just
yeah,
looks
headless
like-
John Travolta.
Yeah, it's a headless like a police chalk drawing.
But Mike, do you want to pronounce this name?
Camel Della Parpis? Partis?
Camel-Dippethoppers. What do you call it?
Camelopardalis.
You know what? I call it, I never pointed out, because it's got camel in its name.
Yeah,
that's
it's
true.
also very dim and no one can see it in the sky in a
No,
light
but
polluted area.
But I always like pointing out the John Travolta stick figure. That makes me happy. So it's Camelopardalis. It's supposed to be a giraffe, a camel, a thing up in the sky for some reason.
Well,
So
and
there
it's
it is.
called Camelopardalis because giraffes look like camels with leopard spots.
Okay.
Camel leopard.
Now I can't like.
Alice.
Now I can't like giraffes.
You can like giraffes.
No.
I mean,
'cause they look the camels now.
Okay.
I will forever see them as camels.
They don't spit at you. They just got real long black tongues.
Ah.
Yeah, but they try to kill you.
In any case, those Camelopardalis. And then just to round us out here, because we can.
We can.
We're going to go ahead and pull up the other two circumpolar constellations.
Okay.
And now we mentioned all the constellations, or orbit, go around that pole star, Polaris. But these constellations, there we go. These constellations are special because depending on your latitude, they're never going to dip
I
below
went
the
the wrong
horizon, unlike what happened just now.
So if you
Zero.
go higher up in latitude,
Go to
then
Alaska.
you see less of them. If you go lower in latitude, oh, there they are.
Yeah, so they're always going to be in the sky no matter the season.
Who are they?
They're the Circumpolar Constellations.
No, you didn't.
They are Cassiopeia and Cepheus.
Yeah, King and Queen. That is another great story,
That is a
which
great story.
I think we'll get to later.
Yeah, we'll do
And
that on a
Later
next
being
edition.
in autumn.
And to be fair, if you go back in our history, we actually do a play with these two. I don't know when we did it, but it was great fun.
Yes.
Do you remember that,
Oh,
Liz?
yes. I remember that.
And if you cannot wait until the autumn, or you can't find it in our archive, Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
There you go.
So
Exactly.
where should we go to next, Liz?
Well, I believe we're going to head to
I-
the western part of the sky.
And I want to point
Because-
out right now that all three of us with this iPad in front of us that can control the sky, we're like kids in candy stores. I want to talk about everything because this is great.
We control the universe.
Give me the iPad.
Mike's going to do one.
All right, now,
Everyone shut up. Mike's going to do one.
like I mentioned before,
Oh my God.
the
it's
majority
so
of the
precious.
constellations are seasonal. So we are going to move over to the west and talk about some seasonal constellations.
There's so much pressure now.
You got it.
No, it's like, everybody shut up. Mike's going to do something.
It's a rare treat.
Oh my God. So so really quick, back in the Planetarium days, whenever Mike was giving a show, like Liz or whoever would tell us, like, this is happening, and we'd stop whatever we were doing
It's a
to
legendary,
run in and
legendary
listen to
Mike
this.
George Planetarium show.
Oh my God.
You know, the moment you say the first two words, you're going to fall into it.
Maybe. All right, so here we are in the western part of the sky. Brandon and Liz have been hanging out in the north. Figured we'd come over to the west. We've already seen the west with the setting of the sun. But this is... I wanted to go to the west for a few different reasons. First of all, I am a big winter sky fan. So I love the wintertime constellations, and they're getting a little bit lower each and every night, and so they're about ready to disappear. And one of my favorite constellations, though, is Gemini, the twins.
Twins.
Yeah, so Gemini and twins, the Gemini twins are over in the west after sunset, pretty much due west. And if you look to the west, you'll see a couple of bright stars. There they are, right there, and they go by the names of Castor and Pollux. And these two stars, they're twins. They're overlapping a little bit in their names,
That's
but
okay.
but that's all right. And so these were two brothers, and the Greeks weren't the only ones who saw brothers when they looked up into the sky. The Egyptians saw like twin goats that were up there.
Oh, I bet that's fun for you.
Yeah, devil eyes. People in Arabia saw peacocks up there, and so different cultures see different things. But the Greeks weren't the only ones who saw twins, but they did see two human twins up there. And like I said, Castor and Pollux were brothers. They were twins. Shared the same birthday. Didn't share the same daddy.
Oh,
Nope.
shit.
Yeah.
We
No.
got a Jerry Springer story
we
coming
do.
up here.
Yeah, who's the father? Tyndareus. Oh, wait a minute. Also Zeus.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. So, Castor...
Wait.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
They're twins, yet they have two separate daddies?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But one
well,
mommy.
one does have magical stuff.
Yeah. So basically, Tyndareus was married to Leda. Tyndareus was the king of Sparta, and Leda was the queen of Sparta. It's amazing how that works out that way. And one night, they made a baby.
Baby!
Oh,
Yeah.
babies.
That baby would one day be born and called Castor. Yep. However, that very same night, Zeus came into the picture.
Oh, prima noctis here.
Oh, boy.
Seduced is...
The word I would use in a situation.
Was it?
Yeah, Zeus was a little rapey.
Oh, yeah, he
Oh,
tends to
rapey,
be.
okay.
He tends
But
to be.
but all right, so seduced Leda and conceived Pollux, and so these two brothers grew up together, the best and greatest of friends, inseparable. They went on many adventures. They went to They fought in Troy. They were part of the Argonauts, chasing the
It
Argonauts.
sounds like a fun sitcom. The Adventures of Castor and Pollux.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It should be.
watch
Somebody
that.
needs to make it.
Yeah.
Amazon needs to make it.
Netflix, hit us
Netflix,
up.
get on it.
Come on, no, you come
Oh,
talk
yeah,
to
come talk to us.
We want a
We get
$68
copyright
million
rights.
deal. Copyright ancient Greek story.
So, but on the fun, all good things must come to an end eventually, and it was going to come to an end because, again, Castor was immortal because his daddy was Tyndareus. Castor was mortal because his dad was Tyndareus, but Pollux was immortal and was going to live forever. And it all kind of came to a head one day when Castor and Pollux got a little smitten with these two women.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
It's always the dames.
Yes, and the problem was, those women, well, they were smitten with somebody else.
Uh-oh.
And so Castor and Pollux grabbed these women and run off.
Oh, no.
And chased by the...
Hashtag me too. What are we doing?
Yeah, chased by the two guys that were smitten with the two women also.
Okay.
And they finally caught up with Castor and Pollux, and there was a great fight that occurred. Castor was mortally wounded and died, and Pollux was devastated. He lost his best friend in the entire universe.
It's like when Aragorn died and Aragorn was still around.
Take a drink.
Yeah. Oh, I thought we were suspending all that.
We are, but I'm doing it anyway.
So Pollux pleaded with Zeus to go live in the underworld with Castor. And Zeus can't allow that. He can't have that happen. He can't have an immortal live in...
He's king of the gods. He can do what he wants. Why?
Yeah,
Make it happen, Zeus.
Well, he didn't make it happen. So he came up with a compromise where Pollux could live 6 months out of the year in the underworld with Castor, and they could be united. Eventually, though, Zeus put both of them up into the sky where they could spend eternity together.
Aww.
Yes, indeed. So, so that is the story of Castor and Pollux, but let's take a moment to actually take a look at them. So, those two bright stars are the heads of our twins, Castor and Pollux.
Oh, look at that! They're holding hands. That's how I draw people.
Yeah.
They're immediately recognizable to me.
Yeah, to me it looks a little, a stick figure.
And what's interesting is you'll notice when you find Castor and Pollux in the sky, the stars, they're actually two different colors.
Yeah, they're getting
Whereas Castor is more blue, and Pollux is more of an orangey.
That makes sense because even though they're siblings, they're two different breeds.
Or they're fraternal
Breeds?
twins.
I didn't know what to say. Breeds. One's mortal, one's immortal. I didn't know what to say. Like what? They're different mortalities.
One's a husky and one's a Malamute.
That makes sense to me. I want to call stars breeds now.
They're twins, but they're fraternal twins.
Sounding. Having grown up in the South, that's pretty racist sounding.
I was just thinking this one's blue and this one's red, man. Leave me alone.
And Pollux, though, since he is immortal, is slightly brighter than Castor.
Oh.
But there they are, the two twins put up into the sky to remind everybody the importance and the beauty of brotherly love.
Aww.
Yeah, and there's actually, some great stories like that. Cygnus the Swan is another great story.
Oh, I love Cygnus' story.
And then you have Cassiopeia, who spends half the year on her head. Well, a quarter of the year on her head.
She's a vain bitch, but we'll talk about that on our fall episode of Tipsy Stars.
She probably thinks the show is about her.
Oh, without a doubt.
Hey.
Without a doubt. And so I do want to spend just a couple moments because there is a pretty, to me, it's kind of cool. I like it. There's a couple of things in the Gemini twins. And first, I'm going to go far out into space. And
so something that you can't see just looking up at the sky. You need like some Hubble power, maybe?
Yep. Right there. You need a regular telescope to actually see it. But if you want to see something like this,
that's cool.
You do need something like Hubble.
What is it?
That is actually something that we'll talk about next week.
What?
Yeah. That is a little fluffy cloud out in space.
Little fluffy clouds. Is it a happy little fluffy cloud?
Well, now.
Is it a tumultuous little fluffy cloud?
Oh.
Yeah, so that is what we call a planetary nebula. And basically, this is what our sun is going to look like in about 5 billion years.
It's going to be its
cool.
best self in 5 billion years.
Yeah.
It's shit for us, but damn,
Well,
it's not going to look pretty.
What is this nebula called?
It's called the Eskimo Nebula.
Or maybe we should rename it to Inuit Nebula?
It's the Inuit Nebula.
Okay.
But anyway, so this is a star that lived its life, and then at the end of its life, fluffed off its outer shell of gas and created this planetary nebula that we see here. It's very, very beautiful.
It's really at the end of this star's life that we truly got to know who it was. It shed its outer layers, and now you can actually see it.
Here at the end of all things.
I'm glad I'm with you, Inuit Nebula. Here at the end of all things.
Jack says, note from the audience, Pollux was a cowboy, legs look like he's wearing cowboy chaps, and Castor was a football player with those wide shoulders. All right, I can see it.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we can do that.
All right, what we got next?
Well, we have something else that's in Gemini.
We have another thing?
Yeah, we have another
Gemini?
thing.
Oh my goodness.
And this is something you can see with just your own 2 eyes. You do not need a telescope
What
to
is
see
it?
this. It's right here. It's at the foot
Oh, shit.
of Castor.
Oh, damn, there it is. We
There
see
it
it.
is.
What is it?
Maybe, should I put up a label or should I put up a picture?
Picture.
You want a
Fuck them
picture?
labels.
Yeah, let's
All right,
let's
so
see.
there we go.
Oh, it's
Yes!
Mars!
Bring her aboard!
Yeah, so you can see Mars tonight, right after sunset, a couple hours after sunset. Nice high up in the constellation of Gemini. You have the red planet. And it is the beautiful planet Mars, the only planet that is what?
Inhabited by robots.
Fuck yeah, it is. And not just regular robots. Flying robots!
Robots. All right, actually,
It's infested with robots.
we'll get to that here in a moment.
Okay.
But all right,
So it'll be kind of a bright reddish looking star setting in the west.
And it
in
will
the
not be
early
blinking.
evening.
no, and if you
No.
see that, if you look at right now, you see that gash on Mars. That's Mariner Valley,
Hell yeah.
the Grand Canyon of the solar system. You'll also see 4 little dots to the west, to the left of it. Those are very large dead volcanoes.
There's curiosity.
The largest one. Everybody
No one
saw
saw you
that.
got that.
I know.
The largest one there that is about ready to
disappear at the top there.
disappear is Olympus Mons. Could cover the entire state of Arizona
How high
and
is it?
stretch 20 miles into the sky.
20 miles
2.5
into the
times
sky.
taller
God,
than Mount Everest.
I
And
wish
the-
I could see an eruption
right?
from Olympus Mons. That would be
Well,
amazing.
it's more likely. It's not. I forget the types of flows of
Pyroclastic?
Is that the one I'm thinking of? Which is
It's a shield volcano.
Yeah, it's a shield volcano. So
It's a shield volcano.
it's just
Yeah,
like,
it's not, it doesn't have a big eruption.
No,
It's just
right.
like a little oozing.
It's just like Mauna Kea in Hawaii
but
or
still.
Fuji.
So that's one of the ways we knew early on that there were no plate tectonics on Mars, because if we had tectonic shifting around, we'd see things like Hawaii, where we have multiple islands
That's
pop
right.
up, but this one mountain.
But Mars does
volcano.
have, we learned, Mars quakes.
Hell yeah, it
And
does.
they don't know exactly what is causing the Mars quakes
No,
yet.
but it does have them.
Oh, I'm assuming it's like about 6 million tiny hamsters in the wheel.
Yes, okay. Yeah.
Running?
Mars hamsters.
Yeah. There was one other thing I wanted to mention about, at least one other thing.
Okay.
So on Olympus Mons, which you can see it coming around right now in the center there, you can see at the edges, it looks like there's cliffs, and there are. It's not always just a gradual slope up. At some point, there are 7-mile cliffs, just
Oh,
dead drops, and it's
wow.
fantastic. 7 miles.
Yeah, but you know that slope, though, you brought up slope. It's a very gentle slope.
Oh, yeah.
And you could easily hike it, unlike some of the parts of what we did yesterday.
I know that the goal of sending the robots to Mars is really to look at the history and habitability of Mars and life, but can we just send one over to Olympus Mons and take a look at that fucking volcano?
I really want one inside Mariner Valley.
Oh yeah, Valles Marineris.
Oh.
Yeah, so Mariner Valley, not carved by water, which, you look at it and a lot of people might think.
Like
carved
our
by water.
Grand
Like the Grand Canyon, yeah.
Yeah.
But this is the grandest canyon.
The grandest
This
canyon
is
of
the
them
grandest
all.
canyon, and it's basically kind of where Mars ripped a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a crack in the surface.
Yep. All right, so that is the beautiful planet Mars.
Bye, Mars.
I tell you what, why don't we, since we brought up that it has robots there.
Yes, many robots.
And we got some cool new robots that just got there and doing some shit.
Doing some shit.
Doing some shit.
Doing some shit.
Like doing this shit.
Yes! Right, oh, look at it.
This is our first flying robot on Mars.
You can see its shadow.
Ingenious.
Yeah, here you go. I tell you what, let me bring up the shadow real quick. So there's the shadow. Oh, look at. Oh, you know what I have not noticed? The Perseverance tracks.
There we go.
Kind of a darker stripes in that image.
I had not noticed that
Ingenuity,
before.
the helicopter, kind of in between are Perseverance's tracks. Yeah.
So Ingenuity is a helicopter that we have on Mars. It is the first helicopter. And there it is sitting on the ground. It has had two flights. The first one was about 40 seconds, and it basically went straight up about 10 feet. I think it did a little turn and then came back down.
Yeah, the first one's just up and down, basically.
Up and down, basically. The second one, though, drink pouring time. The second one was a little bit longer, was 52 seconds, if I remember right. It went up 16 feet.
16 feet!
Yep. And it did a few turns as well. However, this time what it did was it pitched 5 degrees and then went forward about 7 feet. And then touched back down.
I want to write NASA for many different reasons, and ask, hey, we should rename Ingenuity to Valkyrie. So it would always be the flight of the Valkyrie.
And have that be
and then
the
have that
soundtrack.
That's
every time.
That's a sound. So when they eventually send a helicopter to the moon Titan, we should call that Valkyrie.
There you go.
Oh,
that's
that would be pretty cool.
That's on point.
That is a moon of Saturn's, by the way.
Well, we should probably call it something else. Manway. Because on Titan, all the geological features named the Middle Earth phenomena, and Manway was the god of the eagles. So they'd be
the eagles
flying
that
eagle.
didn't fucking
that's a different story.
And solve immediately the crisis. Anyway,
we
have
digress.
many arguments over eagles
every day.
All right, so by the way, this week is when those flights happen, and there's a great shot of the main lady. The main person in charge of this flight, and you can see her holding a ripped piece of paper in her hand in this picture.
So cool!
And what she had done, and I'm sure that all of them do this, but she had come up with a contingency speech of
in case it all went
basically
bad.
Ingenuity blew up. It crashed and blew up and flames and all this kind of stuff. So she had written a contingency speech. And you see this picture of her. It is ripped in her hand, and she is just in the throes of excitement
I can't imagine.
and happiness and all of that.
And
as much as I love to see this, as much as I really and truly love to see this helicopter on Mars, there it is with Perseverance.
It's so flippin' cool.
I think the picture of that lady is my favorite picture.
Absolutely.
So there it is. The only planet in the entire solar system, in the entire universe, not counting Earth, that we know of, that has robots on it.
Robots.
I love it so much. Yeah, you can turn that off. That's cool.
I really want to know what that speech was, because I know Nixon had the exact same contingency speech for Apollo 11, which is a beautiful speech. Luckily never had to be given. So I really want to know what that was like for Ingenuity.
All right, so
I'm sure she won't tell us, but
no.
So facing west in the early evening, Gemini hanging out with Mars. That again will look like a bright reddish star setting in the west. You'll also may have noticed something familiar low on the western horizon as well that I'm going to touch on, that Wasn't in our outline, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
This is what we do here.
These are 2 wintertime constellations that are on their way out of our evening sky as we head deeper into what is supposedly spring, but it still feels a little bit like winter.
Second coming of winter.
And these 2 popular constellations are, of course, Orion and Taurus.
Look at you going off script.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Man, that's what I'm going to do now. I'm excited.
So Orion, of course, very bright, very recognizable constellation that you can find. And Taurus the bull is kind of marked with this bright star, which is Aldebaran. And there's sort of a V shape that forms his face. There's also, in his neck, this little tiny cluster of bright stars that look like a mini, itty bitty, mini dipper.
Yeah, and when I was a little kid, I really thought that was a little dipper.
Yeah. But it's not the Little Dipper. It is the Pleiades, or the Seven Sisters, which is this open star cluster. And another name for it may be familiar to you.
Oh.
And this is Subaru.
Subaru!
Exactly, which is what it's called in Japan. And so the Subaru car, the logo is a bunch of stars, and that is supposed to represent the Pleiades.
Which is really cool. I love passing a Subaru, seeing one by me.
I know, every
there
time.
it is! There's a Subaru!
I know, every time I pass Subaru.
I remember one time there was somebody who came to the planetarium who had gotten there in a Subaru. I can't remember her name.
Yeah. I don't know.
Was it Zill?
Was
that
could
her
have been,
name?
oh yeah, it was me.
Hey, it is. Wait a minute.
It was me, and my ex at the time, he drove a Subaru, and so you actually finally got like someone to respond that they actually drove a Subaru.
Yeah, it
for like
wasn't
the first time ever.
It was not a very popular car for planetarium goers.
Which is interesting because here in Utah, Subaru is very popular.
Well, yeah, Subaru is like a Northwest car, like. The Oregon, the Washington crowds, they love the Subarus.
Because they need the off-roading, you know.
Yeah, and it lasts forever.
The 4x4 terrain with the snow and shit, which you don't have in
I'm more of a
Phoenix.
giant Hummer guy myself, with the big cars and the giant engines. I can do anything.
Okay, Schwarzenegger. All right, so let's take us away.
Drive a Prius?
I do.
Let's take us away from the western sky and let's go east. All right, so hold on to your butts. We're spinning around.
Look towards the east.
We're getting tipsy. And towards the east early in the evening, mountains depending on what's on your horizon and where you're located. But there's another familiar object up there.
The moon?
And that is, it's the moon.
Oh, fuck yeah, I was right. I'm sorry to take away your thunder. I thought you were talking about the constellation.
No, I was going to talk about
the moon. That's for tonight. Tomorrow might be someplace else.
Oh, that's true, because the moon,
it
moves a lot
moves.
more. I mean, the stars are moving too. However, they're far away and distances and things, so we don't really perceive the movement of the stars at all.
But one of my favorite things about telescopes, so you have the fancy telescopes that track the stars, and you have telescopes like my telescope that do not track the stars. And so you have to move, because it turns out the Earth is moving really fast. So you can point the telescope to the moon and think, I'm going to leave it there for 10 minutes and get really cool things. No, but the Earth's moving so fast, you can actually see in the telescope the moon and the stars moving out of view due to the rotation of the Earth. And it's really cool.
I used to work at an observatory, and we would have public nights, and they always want to see things like Saturn and the moon when the moon was up. And, there we go. I forgot to put that on there.
That's the far side, yeah.
I would like to look at the moon, put the telescope on the edge of the moon, turn off the track, and you felt like an astronaut just flying over the surface.
Now, I just want to point out, when you look at the moon through the telescope, don't do it unless you've seen it many times and during a full moon. Do it like a half moon where you can see the shadows and the mountains casting. It's amazing.
Yeah, the full moon is actually
too bright.
Oh, it's too bright.
It can hurt your eyes.
Yeah, put a filter on it. If you do have a telescope, it usually comes with a moon filter, so you can put that on your eyepiece. But it's actually the most boring time to look at the moon, because the moon looks very flat, because you don't have the shadows, because it's noon for the moon, and so there's really no shadows. So like Brandon said, first quarter, third quarter, you see these beautiful shadows and
Beautiful.
craters.
Beautiful.
That line
Tidal
between
craters.
that line between day and night, essentially on the moon, is
The
called the
Terminator.
Terminator line, and that is what casts those shadows and gives some real nice depth and texture to the moon.
Oh, and on this far side, by the way, that's where China's rover currently is.
Oh, is that Jade Rabbit?
Jade Rabbit 2.
Oh, Jade Rabbit.
And
too.
you'll also notice on the far side, no dark patches.
No, well, a couple. I got a couple of
But
them.
not as
No, not as
much as
prominent.
on the near
Not at
side of the
all.
moon.
For many
that-
different theories, which is cool.
There are many theories, but do you know? So on the far side of the moon, the crust of the moon is actually thicker than the near side, so it's
Right.
easier for
Is that
these asteroids and things to hit the moon and punch through that thinner crust.
is that because the gravity of the Earth is constantly pulling it from the near side?
Well,
See,
the physics
Yeah.
of it all should be that the crust should be the same thickness on both sides.
Right.
So
Great
it's
moon debate.
it's a bit of a mystery. It's a bit of a mystery
that.
as to why the crust on the far side, and we say far side because the moon is gravitationally locked to the Earth, and so the same side of the moon always faces the Earth. Go ahead.
I love things like we can tell what happened at 1 billionth of a second in the cosmos, but we don't know why the moon's crust is thicker on one side than the other.
Yeah.
It's silly.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's actually, and there's mysteries all over the universe. That one nearby with the moon, Uranus is not as active with storms as Neptune. Don't know why. So even if we come up with a theory of everything, like next week, there's still going to be mysteries that have to be figured out.
Speaking of mysteries,
Yes.
I'm going to take us to the morning.
You think is that a mystery?
Because there
No
are
one's up that early.
there if you get up before sunrise, which I do.
Wait a minute.
We have to.
There are
Yeah.
actually a couple planets that you'll be able to see in the early morning sky that are still pretty mysterious, even though we have sent some robots there, but we're continually learning more and more about them. All right, so if you go outside in the early morning hours and you face east, there are two planets low on the horizon. Now, we do have some high mountains on our horizon, and they are high enough to see them. If you are in, like, say, Phoenix,
As you
got
see
nothing
here.
on your horizon. So
I appreciate
you
the call out to Phoenix. I
You're
like that.
welcome. So you'll see to the sort of more southeast of where the E is on the dome, so to speak, two bright objects rising over the mountains. The lower one of those objects will be brighter, and that is a very famous planet. In fact, it is
What is it?
the king
The
of the
king.
solar system, the king of the gods.
Oh, Joopy
Joopy
Joops.
But Joops.
Joopy
In
Joops.
I was gonna say house, but in the sky.
It is rising now
We need a song
in
about Jupiter.
the early morning hours. And we have a spacecraft hanging out with Jupiter right now known as Juno. And Juno is actually the wife of Jupiter. So in Greek, it would
Wait.
be Hera.
Wait a minute. So we have the wife of Jupiter hanging out with Jupiter, which
Yeah,
is great.
yeah.
But then around Jupiter,
Yeah.
all of its moons are named
after
after
his consorts. Yeah.
Okay, the consorts. So just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, it's
Jupiter
a
is always in
dicey-
trouble.
It's a dicey situation. Yeah, it's a dicey. I would not want to be Jupiter, but Juno is actually doing some important work because with these gas giants, we don't really know too much about the interior structure of them. We kind of hypothesize that Jupiter and these gas giants do have, I say small, but like Earth-sized rocky cores, and then the other layers and gaseous layers, from that. So Juno is going to help study more of the interior of Jupiter and hopefully help confirm, if it does have that rocky core.
It's been doing just incredible work as well. Like the pictures it sent back.
Oh
the
god,
science
pictures
sent
are works
back.
of art.
It's to me, it's Van Gogh in space.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely gorgeous.
That's a great description of it. And actually, I would love to get Juno pictures and put them on our walls. They're just works of art.
That would be actually gorgeous.
It's been one of my life goals is to have images of Juno or Cassini, for example, and stick them up in frames.
Speaking of images of Cassini, the secondary bright planet, a little bit higher, a little bit more southeast than Jupiter. That is another gorgeous planet.
My
and
favorite.
we're talking
The
about
Lord of the Rings.
Saturn. All right, so Saturn.
He does not share power.
It's a good thing that we're not drinking on this one.
Of course, Saturn known for its gorgeous
rings.
rings.
Let's talk about the rings. Okay. I know we have the next show is like in 2 minutes, so we don't have time.
No,
but let's
you
talk.
said this is the last show of the day.
Well, yeah. Now the place is going to close soon. But Saturn and the rings and Cassini. Oh my God! So the rings, you can see them again from Earth with a really good binoculars. You can see like ears sticking out. You can't really tell the rings, but you can tell the ears, prominences. But through a simple 6-inch, 8-inch telescope, you can see the rings. So you would think they're like miles, hundreds of miles thick, right?
Oh, no.
Nope.
No, how thick are they? Like on average?
About a mile.
Like a mile? Yeah, it's very thin. So if you look at Saturn head on, like you can't even really see the rings. You'll see like maybe like a line that kind of goes across Saturn. That's, but you can't get the depth of that.
Yeah, at their thinnest, they're probably about 100 feet.
Oh,
wow.
Their thickest?
62 feet of thickness.
42 feet.
62.
42
Saturn unit feet.
There we go.
Saturn thickness units. ring thickness units.
42
is the answer to everything, goddammit. And then
I failed physics.
I just wrote 42
I
and
didn't
everything.
fail physics.
And then at its thickest, probably a mile and a half.
Yeah.
It's not thick at all. But
And can they like walk on the rings, or what's going on?
no, they are
No.
not solid. They're made up of chunks of ice, and these little ice cubes can be as small as a marble, or as large as an iceberg, like the one that sunk the Titanic.
Oh dang!
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Iceberg, right ahead, hard to starboard.
So I can't imagine the interviews
done.
from Titan or anywhere else. So it's here from Earth. You cannot believe looking at Saturn for the first time through a telescope. You cannot believe that's not the sticker they put at the end of the telescope.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Beautiful sight.
So-
I will never forget the first time I saw it.
Nope. I jumped up and down.
Yep.
So, again, rising in the east, early morning hours, Jupiter and Saturn out there, and the entire sky is completely filled with constellations. Whether you're in the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere.
Yes.
The entire sky has these various pictures associated to it, and I'm going to turn us around here so we can just kind of see the other side.
There's Pegasus, the Sagittarius,
So you
the
just-
Scorpius.
you can-
Oh yes.
Yeah, so you can see them. You can see them everywhere. And what I recommend to everybody is, and what we all recommend, is to just go outside in the evening hours or the early morning hours or what have you when the sun's not up, and just look up and just kind of
you won't be
peruse with your
disappointed.
No,
eyes.
and you don't need to know the constellations or the names or what they are, the histories. Just know that those points of light are stars with worlds around them, just like our planets.
Yeah, and you're connected to every one of them. You're connected to every one of them via the
Many ways.
light that enters your eyes. That
They end the journey in your eyes after hundreds of years of traveling through space. It ends the journey right
there
in
in your eyes. And that light was formed in that star millions of years ago. Then it took millions of
Took a long
years to
time
go
to
from
get
the
out.
center to just to the surface of the star, and then it radiates out in space at the speed of light. And then,
Like major photon.
however long it takes to go from that star to here, it then enters your eyes, and it connects you to that star and to the planets, and maybe to the life on those planets that are going around that star. But also, you're connected to the universe just with the atoms that you have in your body, the carbon, the calcium, all formed in these stellar furnaces long ago.
Synthesis of elements of stars.
Elements of stars is exactly what you are. Those stars exploded, sending those elements out into the universe, which then found its way into a cloud of dust and gas, which collapsed to form a star about 4.5 billion years ago. And around that star was a planet, third planet actually from that star, and life formed on that planet, and eventually became you. You're connected to the stars in more ways than you think.
As I like to say, you stepped out of a supernova.
Yes, yes, that's good. You stepped out of a supernova.
Now, if you go outside and you want to know what you're looking at, there are plenty of technological tools that can help you, apps for your phone that you can download, and then you can simply, basically, you have a portable planetarium in your pocket. You can point your phone at the sky, and it'll tell you exactly what you're looking at, what planets are.
What's your favorite sky app?
Well, my favorite is Google Sky Maps, since I'm an Android user. But there are other ones out there like Sky Safari.
I love Sky Safari. I'm an Android user as well, but love Sky Safari.
Okay. And
my favorite is Digistar.
Well, it's not for your phone. It's not for your phone.
I can make it.
Yes, this Planetarium show powered by Digistar 7, by Cosmos, Evans
Sutherland, whatever.
Which I guess I should say is the greatest planetarium software on planet Earth.
I mean, it really. We're heavily biased,
it's great.
But something else that
There's more.
we absolutely love and adore. It is our signature, one of, but the most classic way that we like to end our planetarium shows.
And it's not just us that liked it; it was everybody.
And that is with a motherfucking Mobius.
Fuck yeah. Get that music going.
Oh, yeah.
Now, out of curiosity, can they still hear us?
They can still hear us, and I'm trying to make us not frozen on the screen.
I was about to say, where am I?
I'm looking at something important, though.
So the Mobius, as you, it's a single-sided object that we like to turn into a space roller coaster.
With the rave music.
With the rave music, if you can hear it.
The awesome thing is like, we're not in chairs that will spin around. You know, because spinning around in a chair while watching the Mobius strip is
so much fun.
Oh, I've done that. I got sick.
Yes, you're welcome, because I gave you that recommendation.
You did?
Yes, spin around in the chair while watching it.
Or from home,
Fantastic.
you can spin your hand in front of your face.
Oh, yeah, you can do this, too. Oh, actually.
They can see us.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Really dumb.
You can't see me. Oh, yeah. Right, you know what? This would be a cool, like, even if it's like, I don't know, like, you can make this into a real ride somehow, couldn't you?
Oh, God.
You can make it one of those ones that you're just sitting to see.
That would
and
be
you
death.
like.
Maybe,
maybe
like virtual reality, like the Star Tours.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about.
Okay,
Star
it's better.
Tours.
Not just a giant loop in the sky.
Or, no, you could, like in Epcot.
Like a physical thing?
Like in Epcot, because it's a round thing, and you just go around
I would
the thing,
die.
and you have, like, the visuals of the star around you, and, like, the track looks like
this is a flat screen. I'm already getting dizzy. I don't need reality into this.
How are you going to handle the amusement park if you can't handle the Mobius?
Oh, I can do that. Just don't spin me.
Handle the what? Oh, the amusement park.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I can do roller coasters. Just don't spin me around, guys.
This is what I would do. I would play this in the show, and then I would just be off on the side, dancing to it, or I'd go up atop and spin in the chair.
I always love when it gets to the very top and slows down. Okay. And it goes backwards and it freaks them out.
And the best is when
Freaked
people
everybody
would, like, cheer and scream when it starts going backwards.
Yes.
They'd be like, yes!
And off we go into the universe.
So, I'm sure I've said this, but we tried to, being Dorrance Planetarium, we tried, after about a year of having the Mobius strip, to move on to something else, and the public was like not having it.
No. Classic.
All right. Coming back at ya. I know, the camera's being a jerk today. Anyway, that is our Tipsy Stars with Cosmos. First one. We do plan to do this again.
In the summer sometime.
We will be having a hangover, so stick around if you're with us live. We will be taking a short break beforehand, though. But as always, follow us on all the things, Twitter, @DrinkingCosmos, everything else Cosmos with Cosmos. And being that this is Tipsy Stars, this episode specifically will only be available on YouTube after the fact if you want to watch it. Otherwise, we will have a High in the Sky edition up on whatever podcast platform that you like
Emphasis
to
on
listen to.
Sky.
Or high? I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. Go outside, look at the stars, check shit out, and be one with the fucking universe.
And what are we talking about next time?
We're talking about fluffy clouds in space.
Fluffy clouds in space!
What are they?
What the fuck are those?
How do they get there?
Who do they think they are?
Yeah, those fluffy clouds. Are they happy? Are they tumultuous? You'll find out next time on Cosmos with Cosmos.
Cheers, everybody.
We'll see you around, and we will be right back for the hangover, so sit tight.
See you in a minute.
Hold on. They can still hear us. Here we are, frozen again. All right, there we go. All right, welcome to The Hangover with Cosmos. And this hangover is following our first ever live stream planetarium show, Tipsy Stars.
And it really threw me off in the beginning of Tipsy Stars because we didn't introduce it in the normal way.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if we were doing the show or still in like the pregame routine until we just flew into it.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's how we roll.
It's weird not being in a dome doing it.
It is weird not being in a dome. However, I was surprised at how much of it, after all this time, like just kind of like came back to me.
Well, it's like the moment you say the first couple of words, then you go, oh, that's right. This is the path I fall into. And this is the story we're going to tell the fluffy tales. Or, you know, of Orion or anything. Just, it all comes back.
It's very much like riding a bike. And because I didn't have it on where you could see us when we were doing it, but it was like, there was a lot of gesturing and like hand motions and stuff that I think is usually how we would present the show. But
and even if no one could see us, we would still do the hand motions.
Yes, we were still doing it. I was good, and they swung them around and threw them up in the sky. Anyway, so for this hangover, we figure we will just randomly talk about shit, or if you guys have any questions or things you would like us to basically show you in the planetarium, then we can bring the dome back in. So and so show some shit. Maybe, I don't know. It might be some finagling that happens, but you know that's what we do. We finagle.
Before some questions potentially get asked, what kind of shit do we want to talk about?
I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about? Space stuff.
Okay.
What?
I don't know.
Let's see. I'm racking my brain. I'm thinking, but I can't think while I talk, which makes this difficult.
Well, I'll let you think. Jack has finished his shake, and he's made some iced Earl Grey tea. Not
Earl Grey.
Cold.
Iced.
Iced.
And
Earl
your mom's
Grey
got a Diet
tea.
Coke.
Nice.
Of course she does. That's her classic drink, Diet Coke. For my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that Husky Malamute reference, that was specifically for you, Mom, because she gets so mad when people mistake Malamutes for Huskies.
I got a thing.
Or vice versa.
What is your favorite thing to look at with a telescope in the night sky?
Saturn.
Saturn.
Actually, well, okay. I have three things.
Words.
3 things that come to mind.
One
is Saturn, the Orion Nebula, and the Andromeda Galaxy.
Yeah,
because
those are my top 3.
I love looking at the Andromeda Galaxy. So Andromeda Galaxy is conveniently in the constellation of Andromeda. And it is the brightest, closest galaxy to us. No,
in the
northern hemisphere. Yeah, because you got the small and large Magellan Clouds in the southern hemisphere. And it's headed straight for us. We're going to collide. There's going to be a little galactic merger that happens in about 5 billion years or so. But we're fine because the sun's going to die. We're all going to die anyway. But anyway, so
optimism.
The Andromeda Galaxy is a galaxy which we did talk about Andromeda in is the Milky Way made of milk episode. It's not. Spoiler alert. But it's twice the size of our galaxy, and when you look at it through a telescope, it just looks like, and you can see it with your naked eyes in a really dark location, but it's very faint. You kind of have to look at it out of the corner of your eye to really resolve it. For some reason, looking at it head on, you can't really see it.
Cones and rods.
Yeah, but in a telescope, it just looks like this faint sort of cotton ball, this little fuzzy.
Why do you gotta call it a cotton ball?
It's like a bunny tail, cotton ball.
A little faint bunny tail, and it's like you look at it, and you're like, I'm looking at an entire fucking galaxy that is similar to ours but could be incredibly different, and it's like
and the thing is, 100 years ago we didn't know if it was in our galaxy or not.
We had no idea. In fact, it was subject to a great debate.
Check out our Is Milky Way Made of Milk episode for more on that.
Yeah.
So Andromeda's galaxy, Orion Nebula, which is in the constellation of, can you guess it?
Canis Major.
Orion.
But my goodness,
It is a stellar nursery where stars are being born.
That's the first nebula I remember seeing.
Yeah.
Just because it's like a green cloud hanging in the sky.
Yeah.
It's incredible. When you look at the sky, you if you look closely, you might see some colors: the reds, the blues, and the whites, some yellows.
I don't think you really see those.
With stars, but
with stars.
Not with the
nebulae. Casually looking at the sky, you just see dots up there. But when you actually start looking at it, and when somebody hands you a telescope and says, "Look in this," like, okay, I'm gonna see some dots. No, it's a cloud. It's amazing.
And the colors don't really pop out until you hook the camera up. That's when you start to get colors.
You get some green. Yeah. You do get some green in the regular telescope.
Yeah, but not a lot.
Yeah, once you get the long exposure, that's when you get the beautiful space photography that we're used to.
And in fact, we have the Orion Nebula hanging on our living room wall.
In a triptych.
We also have the Ring Nebula
we
on
do,
our wall as well.
Which Jack is one of Jack's favorites. I should do this side, which is one of Jack's, as you can see over here, is one of Jack's favorites.
It is a great looking nebula.
But the Orion Nebula, also what's fun about it is it's a stellar nursery that is located in Orion's...
The baby maker.
Took it away! Come on! Let me finish a fucking sentence! You guys are constantly interrupting the shit I want to say.
This is why we only get planetarium shows with one person there.
Yes, because guys,
we all get excited.
I'm being rushed to get to the point or interrupting my fucking one-liners. God damn it! It's Orion's goddamn baby maker.
I just wanted you to put something on the dome.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's all I wanted.
There was a long build-up. It was a very long crescendo.
That's what I do. It's my section of the show. I do it my way.
You're like, oh my god, we gotta put something on the dome. Virtual or real dome. We gotta put something on the dome.
Look what I gotta deal with, people. Jeez. Anyway, cool. What else are your favorites? Shit. What are some of your favorites?
They've all been said.
Bubble Nebula is fun.
Bubble Nebula.
Honestly, any of the planets.
God.
I remember Jupiter for the first time because you could actually see the four Galilean moons around it, and that was kind of one of the first times that I realized, like, just like Galileo looking at Jupiter, we are not the center. Things are orbiting other planets, and it's so neat to see those moons in that plane orbiting Jupiter.
Yeah, and when you look at Saturn, you can see some of its moons. You actually see more moons with Saturn than you do with Jupiter. I think it's like 6 moons with Saturn.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I don't think I've ever noticed any of Saturn's moons.
Definitely tight.
I think you get distracted by the rings.
The atmosphere,
yeah. Oh, yeah, the rings definitely distract you.
Jack suggested I start handing out detention, so detention for both of you.
Like I'm going to show up for that.
Ha! I always did.
Saturday school.
You always did?
Well, there was something called SOS. I don't know what it stood for, but like...
SOS.
Yeah, instead of a detention, they called it SOS, and I got a lot of SOSs.
What did you do?
Well, like, if it was one of the things, like, if you got a pencil or SOS or some shit like that.
What?
Yeah,
we
school. Like, it got to the point where I just didn't have pencils on purpose because this was fucking stupid.
I mean, I got detention, I got Saturday school once because I ditched.
Okay.
Oh.
We got a question.
Yeah, we got a question.
Down there.
From Sister of the Pod.
The question is there much known about the astronomy in Lord of the Rings?
Take it away, Brian.
Yes, there is. So, fun fact, Middle Earth and Lord of the Rings is in fact the primordial early Earth. So the sky is going to be the same, with the same type of constellation, same patterns, but they do have different names for the constellations.
Okay. Look at the audience while you're talking.
I got excited.
It's this camera right there. See,
that's the one?
It's that big camera.
Yes, so...
Don't interrupt him.
Middle Earth and Lord of the Rings is like a primordial Earth. In fact, in some drafts of Tolkien's ideas, he wrote about how he saw Middle Earth as an early Earth. He just didn't know how to bridge the gap between Middle Earth and the modern-day geography. So he kind of left that behind. So that was an early thought. So yeah, all the skies are the same as here. I don't currently recall the constellation names and the stories and such, but if you go read the Similarian, I am sure they're in there.
Actually, The Hobbit. Not The Hobbit.
Oh, it's The Hobbit. Oh.
Not the fucking Hobbit. Fellowship of the Ring. The Hobbits talk about the plow in the sky for the Big Dipper.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
In fact, there's even a footnote that says this is the Big Dipper. To let you know.
And a plow, that is one of the
very, very British.
Yes, I think it is from
British
England.
thing, yeah.
That is one of those things that it's seen as.
There's a plow. Funeral procession.
Funeral procession, yeah.
Funeral procession. That's
so
fun.
Yeah, so happy. That's a happy thing.
And isn't the big bear also like where it's seen as like instead of having a long tail, it's actually like hunters chasing after the bear?
Yeah.
You know what we need to do? I'm going to look at you, but also talk to everyone else. When eventually we have our own things, we need to create the sky, but put Lord of the Rings constellations up there.
I was thinking,
and we can tell the story of Frodo and Samwise the Brave.
Would they be Gemini? Would Frodo and Sam be Gemini? Because
Merry and Pippin.
Merry
Come on.
Pippin,
yeah.
Come on.
But I think that we need to elicit. We need to get somebody who might be currently listening to the podcast and hang over, who actually put in a question to actually maybe possibly draw these
an artist? An artist?
Yes, an artist.
Don't we?
Someone who you can follow online.
Yeah.
Under Wildixia. Or on buy some of their shit on Threadless.com as well, or Redbubble.
Maybe they could draw some stuff for us.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's a great idea for
Cygnus could be
my wonderful, artistically talented sister Katie to draw some shit for us, because she's amazing. I can draw stick figures. That's what I can draw.
Katie got all the art.
Katie got the art gene. She got the art gene.
So Cygnus could be one of the eagles, and it could be so far away from Mount Doom in the sky.
Yeah,
Mount Doom could be all the way on the other side of the sky from this eagle.
Couple of things. Number one, in the outline we have Cygnus down as something we're supposed to talk about, but I never did get to talk about Cygnus. That's all. Leave it there.
I mean, you could have.
I could have, but we were ending the show.
Somebody went long.
But to be fair, if I was hosting, I would go long, and nobody else. If I was hosting this one, nobody else would have talked. So she did a good job.
It's what I do, and I'm in charge. Katie says we're gonna have a business meeting.
Yeah. Wait. No. We can have many meetings.
Oh. All right. Well, now we're on the drinking, right?
So we do have to drink.
Drink! This entire part is just gonna be us getting.
Hey, Katie, we'll have a meeting in 3 weeks.
We do Aquila and Cygnus because there's more than one.
But Jack makes a good point. Wouldn't it be Aquila and not Cygnus?
There's more than one eagle.
Well, Cygnus is a swan. Aquila's the eagle. Although does not look like an eagle.
But we're not doing a one-for-one translation of our current night sky. Like you can use our imagination hats. Thank you. She agreed. It's gonna happen.
All right. Which then I say, when we do that, then we should be in costume.
Well, duh.
We have at least one costume.
We do.
We already got this guy over here ready to go.
I have my Gandalf.
That's what the costume that I was referring to. We have one costume.
We have one costume, and then you pointed.
We have one costume, and we have this guy over here.
I did not hear and.
Okay,
yeah.
So we got that. Now reeling us back in.
Okay.
We talk about things in the sky. What is the first thing you remember seeing in a telescope? Like, what made you fall in love with the sky?
Well, I mean, I've always loved the sky. I think starting actually working in the planetarium made me fall in love with space and the sky more. The first telescope that I actually got was a birthday present, which I still have. It's that little telescope down there.
Delightful.
Yeah. And the first thing that I saw through it was actually, it's a 4-inch Celestron reflective telescope. A reflector, and the first thing I saw was Saturn, and I saw the rings, and it was just absolutely amazing. I can picture like where I was, and I remember calling people out. Like I was like, "You gotta come look at this! It looks like it's a picture that's just like taped to the end of it." And that was absolutely amazing. And then it was when we brought the telescopes, I think, to Alamo Lake State Park, or just bringing out the big telescopes, or bigger telescope, and then being able to see the Orion Nebula and the Andromeda Galaxy, and it was just like, holy shit. Like, these are real things that I'm seeing with my own eyes and not just pictures of them.
So mine wasn't looking through a telescope.
Mm-hmm.
It was a book. It was also living in 1976 76, 77 when you had a couple things happen where you had Viking land on Mars and you had Voyager fly past Jupiter.
Oh.
And so having all of that come down in like real time was really awesome. And then as a little kid, going out with my dad and seeing Skylab pass overhead.
Which is the coolest fucking thing ever. Like,
Yeah.
of all the things, of course, a lot of things I want to see, but I would love to have seen Skylab pass overhead.
Yeah, and so this was the Skylab was going to end in a fiery death.
Yeah.
Not too long after I saw it, but I saw it pass overhead, and it's like seeing ISS pass overhead now.
Yeah.
So it's just really cool, and you look at it, and even as a little kid, you realize there's people up there.
Yeah.
You know?
And if you ever have the opportunity to go up to D.C. to the Smithsonian Air and Space, they have a exact replica of Skylab. I say exact because what Skylab was like a hollowed out stage of the Saturn V rocket that sent people to the moon. And there was supposed to be more than one Skylab, but, it didn't happen. So instead, they shipped off this ready-to-launch rocket to the Smithsonian as an installation. So now it's called the most expensive museum exhibit of all time. And you can actually walk through it. It's really
wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I remember actually seeing the ISS pass overhead, which, I mean, it does happen, like, frequently.
Oh, yeah,
it's not like,
often.
it's not like a rare thing,
And
but...
you can find the ISS and get them on the app on your phone. You can go see it whenever you want.
Mm-hmm. But I remember we were doing, like, this, like trying to like start running app, and it was when we were in Phoenix and we were out. It was like 116 degrees at like 6 o'clock at night.
Oh, no! It was 116 degrees at like 10 o'clock at night with the sunset. Is dark. And it's still hot as fuck.
Yeah, and we were out running, and then we looked up and then saw this bright light that was just like going overhead, and we're like, oh shit, that's the ISS! And we stopped and we watched it, and was like, oh look, there's people. Okay. I think I like waved at it, not like they can see me, but.
The thing I want to see the most in history would be Sputnik, because at this point, nothing else in the sky will have been moving, and of course today. Starting since last year through many, 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 many decades, if you look up, you may see like a Starlink, for example, constellations. The sky will forever be moving. But in 1958, that was it. That was the only point of light in the sky that would be moving. Yeah. And it signified so much.
Not only
point of light.
Not only could you go out and see it, you could then turn on your radio and listen to it go overhead.
Oh, that's cool.
And that is what freaked the fuck out of people, was being able, wasn't so much seeing it pass overhead, but you could hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And, and what does a great job of showing, hearing it and seeing it is, of course, one of my favorite movies, October Sky.
I've never seen it. I don't think I've heard of it.
Well, we're not going to watch Dragonheart tonight. We're going to watch October Sky with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
There's a moment where he's going down to the mines and he's looking up because he wants to, help out with the stars. And he's just seeing that point of light cross across the sky, because that's the only thing in the eternity that's moving in the sky, and he's going down to a mine.
That's man-made.
Yes. Well, that you can actually see moving.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but you can see like an
but it flashes.
A meteor.
Yeah. Okay.
Jack says Halley's Comet was his first object, and they were lucky
1986.
and took the telescope out to a hayfield.
Yeah.
That's wow. What
I remember
memory that
Halley's
would
Comet. I remember Halley's Comet. That was cool. I will never see the second coming of Halley's Comet.
When's the next second coming?
76 years? How often is it?
76 years.
Yeah, that's how Mark Twain was when he died.
Yeah, so...
well, I said it because
he came in and went out.
Yes, exactly.
Came in and went out with it. But you brought up like taking telescopes to Alamo State Park. We would take telescope for like adults night out with Dorrance Planetarium and out into the park where the Science Arizona Science Center is located at Science and Technology Park, Science and Heritage Park, Science and Heritage Park, and we would take telescope out, and it would be really cool to hey, you want to see Saturn through the telescope?
Sure.
And they come over.
And these are just people
And they've
walking
never
by.
seen it before.
Yeah. They don't want to go to the science center necessarily. They're just walking by.
Yeah.
Come here. Come look at space.
They're literally going to Pizzeria Bianco's, and we stop them. And, when we show them the universe before they go eat a slice.
Love it.
Yeah. It's so much fun. Because, it's not... There's not a lot of telescope and, space outreach or that stuff that's, really just out there and widely available to the public or that they even know about.
Yeah, I remember there was one day I wasn't working. I think it was during a transit or something. I had taken my telescope to a park just because and put it near people. And so I set everything up, saying, come check out the transit of Mercury or whatever it was. And literally, I would have lines, and I was just doing it for fun. And it was the greatest thing ever.
When we did the Venus transit.
Oh, yeah. The transit of Venus. That was...
Holy shit, man. It was hot as fuck.
Yep.
And we had so many people come look through our various telescopes that we had.
Yeah.
We had one lady so impressed and so happy with what we did. She brought us coconut water.
It was disgusting, but we drank it because
we needed
the hydration.
We needed the hydration and to be nice, but it was so disgusting. But we really did touch a lot of people, figuratively.
Thank you. I was good. Yep. Thank
Space is amazing.
In the planetarium, by
Space
pointing
is big.
out all of this
what
stuff.
else?
And, the planetarium was so different from anything else because people walk in first not knowing what to expect and thinking it's just going to be something like a large format film.
No.
And we never gave them that.
Nope.
We broke their expectations, but in a beautiful way. And people walked out just engaged. And I say this with all sincerity, and I realize that this is anecdotal. Mm-hmm. This is not science in any kind of way. Mm-hmm. But every planetarium show that I've gone to where it has just been a push-button show, where you just play a show, people come in, you play a show about whatever, black holes, and then people leave. Mm-hmm. There's no clapping. There's no excitement. There's zombies when they leave. Mm-hmm. But the minute you open it up and make it a live interaction, whether it is just, hey, these are the constellations, Rob, or what have you, people are so engaged. They're talking to you at the end. You're getting claps. It's fucking amazing.
And this is what we call the School of Mike George. Which we follow.
Yeah. Jax is there having the Nebraska Star Party this summer because it's a big open area of low population in western Nebraska. So if anybody out there other than Jack is in Nebraska, go check it out.
Check it out.
Also check out Jack's Planetarium.
Yeah.
What's Jack's Planetarium called? Jack, what's your planetarium called again? Not that we have the bandwidth to offer you any promotion, but
it's on the tip of my brain.
Is that a place I'll be going to at some point?
You can.
You could.
Hey.
I guess so. But yeah. Cool.
Yes, he's got it downtown. Oh God. It's right there. Put it in chat, Jack.
There's a delay, so we gotta wait for the delay for him to.
Rolling
Bluffs Planetarium.
That's what it is.
That's it.
That's
so check
what it
out
is.
Rolling Bluffs Planetarium if you're in Nebraska.
Yeah, he's got a new location.
He's got a new location.
It looks
It's super
really
cute. It's
pretty
awesome.
Cool.
What? I'm going to change the subject. I apologize.
Why are you doing that?
I had a thought.
Oh, God.
We
Keep your
are
thoughts to
plugging.
yourself.
We are plugging a loyal listener, and you're like, I'm going to change the
interrupt?
fucking.
I had a thought. If you had $1 billion, how would you make the perfect planetarium, and what would that look like?
Oh my God!
It
All
would
right.
be.
Oh shit! billion
so
dollars.
Amazing. It
Billion
would be a
dollars.
big ass dome.
Yes.
Well, I guess with the billion, I would just kill light pollution on the planet.
Okay, we got $1 billion. That's what we got. All right, so big dome.
Yeah.
Big tilted dome.
Room for a presenter to be in front of the audience.
How much tilted? How tilted?
I'm not a fan of the. I'm not a fan of a planetarium that's in in the Bay Area where they have like a 25-degree tilt because that's too much.
They have a 30-degree tilt.
They have a 30-degree tilt. However, more than 10 degrees is better too.
Okay, I will say that the 30-degree tilt is actually amazing as an audience member because you feel like you're going through space. However, you can't have that interpersonal.
Yeah.
It's a little bit too big for that interpersonal setting. So
Yeah.
I would prefer a max 60-foot dome, 15-degree
Yeah.
tilt with
Yeah.
enough room for someone to be in front of the audience.
Wait a minute.
Sounding familiar.
Yes. Yeah, but also an observatory that
Yes.
is a quote unquote attached to the planetarium. So you can have the observatory looking at whatever, and that's piped directly into the planetarium. Also, though, and it's just because it's in my DNA and I miss it so much. A full state of the art production studio to produce this whole
And
content
outreach
program.
telescopes and a
Outreach.
portable dome with outreach
One of the-
capability.
I was volunteering down at the Orlando Science Center for a while, and they actually had an observatory. You would go up to the very, very top. They have telescopes. I think it was a 16-inch telescope out there.
Oh, that's nice.
But because you're in the middle of Orlando, it's just, you don't get
You
much
just see
stuff.
Mickey ears, basically.
Basically. But just because it was there would be dozens and hundreds of people every Friday that would come by and just chat about space. So just the opportunity, the space to share the stories of space.
Yeah, I like Jack's where 40-foot dome with 10 seats, and he loves his variable seating. So the audience chooses the style of the chair. Yeah, because that can make it intimate. But with 40 foot, you can make it intimate with that. But you can also have a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so. Yeah.
That's what I love. It's like some of the most daunting shows to give are when there's only been either a couple ticket spot or it's like one family or a couple family. Although at the same time those can also be the most fun because you can just get real in depth. You can be like, all right, what do you want to see? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, sit down
what
with
interests
them.
you? Or if they don't know,
Literally.
you can start driving and then it kind of sparks them to start ask questions.
And then at the same time, sometimes when you have the shows with 3 or 4 people and they don't say a word, then you go off on your own tangent and talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about.
Even if the dome is full with 210 people in it or what have you, and they're not reacting or seemingly not into it because, for whatever reason, you just give the show to yourself and have a blast.
Turns out they may be into it, they just not talkers. And after the show, that was great. You're just thinking, I just fucking talked about Type 1A supernova for an hour. I'm glad you liked it.
But since we have $1 billion,
yes,
a house attached to it all, because I would never leave.
That's true.
We'd have to have
reduce
living
that
qualities.
commute time. Yeah, we don't want to have a fucking commute. We want to just be.
I mean, because we can make our
right
own. We're making $1 billion. We're making our own.
Billion dollars.
Oh, and we also have connected to this an astronomy exhibit area where talk about telescopes and we do everything.
I'm going to spitball here. If I have $1 billion, how much is $1 billion?
A lot.
A lot. It's a lot of
Skittles.
Skittles.
It's 42 money units. Okay, so what if instead of a dome, bear with me, instead of a dome, we have a cube. And we have a cube. But within this cube is just filaments of tiny, tiny nano filaments going up. And they would light up accordingly. So you would look up and you would see depth within the points of light.
So it's like a 3D.
It's like a 3D
How are you gonna move
universe. I have $1 billion. I don't know. I'll do it somehow.
So maybe that's its own little exhibit area where you have that.
No, but you'd still be able to lay down, and these filaments would light up accordingly, whether it's the stars or the nebula, and be able to move with the motion as you choose it to go. And it may give the I don't know how that would look, if that would give you the appearance of depth or what have you, but I think that would be neat.
Jack says he saw a really cool walk-through sphere in Tokyo.
I'm going to throw away what Brandon said, but yes,
but,
Jack, I agree.
But Gloryzar, I don't know if you want me to say your actual name live on the air, but Gloryzar, he says with that much money, it would be similar to Cerebro and X-Men
That would
size. That would actually be
kind of cool.
Pretty.
Can we put on?
Sounds like you need a bunch of filaments in the dome to make
I
it
want the
3
hat.
dimensions.
With the Cerebro helmet.
I want the Cerebro hat.
Yeah, and I gotta say, so VR is was popular. I think that the VR technology isn't as... I think it was like 3D TVs where it was kind of like just...
I was so excited for 3D TVs. I was so excited.
Yeah, that didn't go anywhere, which I didn't think it was going to. But, like, I think VR, like, in this scenario where we're streaming a planetarium show, VR could be cool to get that sense of being in the dome. However, like, the VR technology itself, in terms of a public show, it's so solitary.
Yeah, it's not communal.
And it's not communal. So, but having that, that as an aspect to utilize for just like an individual to kind of maybe do their own little like fly through the universe or kind of navigate on their own like exhibit sort of thing would be fun to utilize. But I mean, with $1 billion, why not throw it in?
Yeah, that's right.
Otherwise, yeah, fuck it.
We would have multiple domes.
With $1 billion, it's still all of our ideas. Yeah.
Everything, all things with $1 billion. I mean,
probably with $1 billion, I would make a planetarium, but I'd do other things as well.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I would have an observatory. I would have 2 observatories.
I would just do so remember in the Truman Show when they zoom out to the Earth and there's this massive dome covering like half a fucking state?
Mm-hmm.
That.
So we'll just take over state? Is that it?
Yeah, you know what? Minnesota? What's up there?
No, it's too cold. In the winter.
But you're inside.
What is the best location for this? I mean, I know you want like Maui, but what would I
floating island we make ourselves.
What would be the best location to have? This
all right. Well, here's the thing. Maui's going to give you calmer skies with.
Nice.
Okay. However, though, there's a reason why there are a lot of observatories in Arizona.
Yeah.
You're in a desert.
Yeah.
It's dry.
Yeah, lower wind turbulence.
And just the fact that you
air turbulence.
you have better viewing.
Mm-hmm.
And so as much as I do not want to be in Arizona, no offense, Brandon.
Sorry.
Love Arizona.
It's too fucking hot. God damn. Well, Phoenix. That accepts nice.
A desert location would be nice. Having said that, there's some deserty type locations in Hawaii. Hawaii has cactus. Oahu has cactus.
There's also a lot of desert in the Sahara Desert.
I'm not gonna move to the Sahara. Hawaii, Oahu. God, it's too many people. But Oahu has cacti in it, and it has.
You can only use cacti if it's the same kind of cactus.
No. So if it's the same kind, it's cactus. If different kinds, it's cacti.
Oh, okay.
It has.
Oh.
It has a lot of cactus plants. They all kind of look the same to me.
Not gonna step.
So
in that
if
one.
that is cacti or what, but Oahu has cacti to rainforest, and Baja would be nice.
$1 billion. Okay, so based off the same thing, what if we just have people fly to space?
Yeah, all the money, glories are all the money pumped into NASA to make it a reality, ... more of a reality, parentheses, question mark?
Yes.
We've talked about what our ideal NASA mission would be in earlier episodes. So I won't rehash that.
I think...
We can do it all with $1 billion.
The Pentagon needs to get NASA's current budget. NASA needs to get the Pentagon's current budget.
The newest presidential budget of NASA has it bumped up by substantial amounts, which is exciting to see.
That's good.
A lot of it goes into earth sciences, studying the Earth, which is fantastic.
Well, that's good because we kind of have like the pressing issue of the survival of our species in the long run.
Yeah. I mean, but NASA does more than just space. I mean, it does turn NASA, satellites towards us.
Aeronautics,
National
Aerospace.
Aeronautics and Space Agency.
Mm-hmm.
And the aeronautics really gets overlooked. They do a lot of work with helping keep planes safe as well.
Oh, see, and that's important because planes, we want them to fly and stay in the air unless they purposely want to make it to the ground in a safe way.
One of my favorite facts about NASA, since we're in the hangover, so in 1904, we had the Wright Flyers. Yes, the first flight. Wilbur and Orbit Wright.
Yeah, North Carolina?
North Carolina,
Kitty Hawk.
That's
a place, Kitty Hawk.
But they're from Ohio.
Yeah.
Dayton, actually.
A lot of space plane people are from Ohio, turns out. But Wilbur, I think it was the older Wright brother, lived for a while and was a founding member of NACA. And NACA was the predecessor of NASA. So in a way, the Wright brothers helped get NASA going.
What's NACA stand for?
National... I don't recall off the top of my head. I'm so sorry.
Well, you have a phone.
Gloria Zara says it maybe pump some money into Electric Light Orchestra and Rush for
EL
motivation.
fucking O! Hell yeah!
There was some song from ELO that I liked as a kid. And
the only one everyone knows?
I don't remember.
I think
don't
I'd
know
have
the
to
name
hear it
of
because I don't know what Electric Light Orchestra
we
is.
all know that. We all know the song. Let me look it up really quick. ELO song.
Brandon's
just
gonna pull it up.
Just the one fucking song everyone knows.
And Rush. Interesting with the Rush. Huh.
What was I about to look up before this? NACA.
NACA. National
Association
of
That's where
Conquering the Air.
Okay,
Wasn't it
Got it. But continue.
No.
We'll see if you're right.
There was something with like Ingenuity's first flight on Mars
Yeah,
aligned with...
Yeah. They actually have on there one of the original cloth pieces of the Wright Flyer.
Right, okay.
I think we talked about that yesterday.
Yes,
Yeah.
but they don't know that.
I know, but they will. They're going to go back and listen to it. So NACA was... So this was, before flight was a real strong thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics.
Oh,
okay.
It was the charter was supervise and direct the scientific study of the problems of flight, with a view to the practical solutions. Because what could the practical solutions be to powered flight? Fucking drones on Mars.
Drones on Mars.
Oh yeah, fantastic. All
yeah,
right.
I mean, see, that's why I would like my superpower to be non-consequential time travel, so I could go back in time and be like, look, you did the first flight here on Earth, but now look, we're flying shit on a whole nother planet.
Like it would be so cool just to sit down with like a number of people of history and say, okay, I understand I am not as smart as you. However, I understand the applications to things you're working on, how they affect the world 300 years later. Mm-hmm. And just to let them know and to have, help answer questions that they have. I think that would be amazing to talk to, like, Newton, for example, and after he came up with, gravity. To send the things...
He came up with gravity.
The things that we have
Ask
done.
anybody who's fallen off a castle or a cliff.
Exactly.
A castle?
Before Newton. Well, I'm thinking like Newton's time.
Okay.
Plague time.
I think they may have discovered gravity prior to Newton.
I just didn't know what it was.
But just like the opportunity to say, hey, I understand you put your life and soul into this. Here's what we have done, and show them like the International Space Station or the moon landings or the Hubble Space Telescope, and just to let them understand that your life's work has gone appreciated. Even if you're someone like Kepler, Johannes Kepler, who died poor, like this is what we have done.
Yeah,
just to let them know.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you that Newton doesn't give a fuck.
No, he doesn't give a flying fuck. He's like, what about my pee? Has that been made into gold yet?
Yeah,
because he
was
an
kind of
arrogant
guy. Motherfucker. But seriously, like, I mean, we landed on the moon because of Newton. We used Newton's equation to land on the moon.
What was the thing? Well, when they entered, I forget exactly what point it was called, translunar orbit. When they go, it's up to Newton now.
Yeah.
Because you know what? We can't do power flight anymore. The moon's going to take it away. It's all up to
Newtonian
Newton.
physics.
Yeah.
Jack says he thinks people fell off the Great Pyramid.
Yeah,
also. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people fell off.
They discovered gravity before Newton.
I think a lot of people have fallen off of a lot of things in human history. I mean, I still am amazed that our species has made it this long, personally.
Yeah, I don't think we have much
how
longer.
many Davison genes has there been?
Well, we can talk about we can talk about the Great Filter in later episodes. We need an episode about aliens.
Yeah, we need to talk about why they always fucking
But
sound
first
that
we
way.
talk about nebulae.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about nebulae. Cool. All right, is that your way of bringing us in and wrapping it up?
It wasn't, but I guess it could be.
Yeah, it's probably about that time.
We're going to continue this conversation later.
I'm sure we will.
I'm
sure we will. All right. Well, this has been really fun. If you joined us for our first Tipsy Stars, we will be doing it again. When are we gonna do it again?
in summer. We're gonna
in
do
summer,
it in summer.
Yeah, we'll do it in summer. We're hopefully we're gonna make it like more like a seasonal thing.
In July of the summer.
July of the 26th year of our Lord 2041.
What?
Because we're gonna find our Lord soon, and we're gonna follow them, and then the 26th year of 2041, we'll do another episode. Don't fucking listen to me.
What is happening?
July of 2020. Well, I don't know what it's. Our dog is doing something.
Leia wants to get. She's too far away. We should have made the gate closer so she could be closer.
I just want to point out the Davisons fall off many things.
Yeah, we do. I mean, I've fallen down our own stairs here just by walking. So.
Oh, okay. I've done that too, and I'm not a Davison.
Oh no.
You married one.
Yeah, but it doesn't rub off.
So, Adam, be prepared. It rubs off.
Oh,
all right? The more time you
ooh.
spend with a Davison, it
Ooh.
rubs off. So be prepared now that you live here. It rubs off.
Oh, okay.
All right. Anyway, true hangover fashion here. Thank you guys all so much for joining us on this episode of The Hangover, which can be found on our YouTube channel. Follow us on all the things naturally at Drinking Cosmos on Twitter and Cosmos with Cosmos everywhere else. You can find High in the Sky, which will be up on the podcast platforms this Saturday. And then I think there might be an edited version of this show that hits YouTube next Saturday as well. But
We'll have it.
or at least of the main Tipsy Stars shows, we'll have an edited version of The Hangover on of this weekend as well. I'm glad Adam's prepared. We love seeing you guys all here with us and enjoying all our shenanigans.
And even new people. Glory Czar.
That's.
Come on.
I didn't know if I could say his name, but
Oh.
I didn't know
okay.
if he wanted me to say his name.
That's that
on,
one entity.
That's the one guy.
Well,
But,
let me in my head go, hey, we have a new
we'll pretend.
listener.
Anyway, thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you next time on Cosmos with Cosmos.
Stay safe.
Stay
We'll talk about
safe.
clouds.
We are
See you
going to
later.
talk about fluffy,
Space clouds.
happy, fluffy little clouds in
Let's give
space.
this guy a friend.
Enjoy.
Cheers,
See ya.
everybody.
Bye. We love all of you. Okay.